The night my marriage broke began with laughter. Our courtyard was full of people. My husband Daniel had invited his business partners, his cousins, and even the village elders. Lanterns hung on the walls. Plates of food were passed around. Music played softly in the background. I stood beside Daniel, smiling like a good wife should. Then he raised his glass. "I built all this with my own hands," he said loudly. "Every coin, every deal. Some people in this house only know how to spend." The guests laughed. I felt a small chill. Then he turned to me. "And this woman," he said, pointing at me, "is nothing but a financial burden." The laughter grew louder. My heart stopped. Before I could speak, he added, "If you cannot add to my wealth, you have no place in my house. Leave." The courtyard fell silent. I walked out. As I stepped past the gate, bright headlights flashed in my eyes. I did not cry in front of them. I walked with my back straight, even though my chest felt heavy. Behind me, I heard whispers. "She never worked. She only enjoys his money." He was right to say it. They did not know me. The gate closed behind me. That was when a black official car rolled to a stop beside the road. The engine hummed softly. The driver stepped out and opened the back door. My husband came rushing outside, angry and confused. "Who is this?" he shouted. The man who stepped out of the car did not look at him. He walked past Daniel and bowed to me. "Good evening, Madam Grace," the man said with deep respect. It was Mr. Adeyemi, the regional bank manager. Daniel froze. My relatives stared from inside the gate. Mr. Adeyemi held a leather folder in his hand. "Madam, we need to discuss urgent matters regarding the company accounts," he said calmly. Daniel laughed in disbelief. "Why are you talking to her?" he snapped. "Those accounts are mine." Mr. Adeyemi turned slowly. "Sir," he said, "the accounts are under review by Primary Shareholder Authority." The air grew thick. Daniel looked at me for answers. I met his eyes. For the first time that night, I did not look small. I had never told Daniel the full truth about me. When my father died 8 years ago, he left me something greater than land or jewelry. He left me shares in a financial institution. Quiet shares. Powerful shares. I had studied finance before marriage. I understood markets, risks, and growth. But when I married Daniel, I chose peace over pride. He wanted to be the provider. So I stayed silent. I let him feel tall. But silence does not mean weakness. And kindness does not mean poverty. Mr. Adeyemi opened the folder. "Madam Grace," he said, "your husband's company expanded rapidly in the past 3 years. Large loans were approved." Daniel lifted his chin. "Because I am capable." "Yes," the manager replied softly. "But those loans required final authorization from the majority shareholder." He turned the papers around. My signature was there. Daniel stared at it. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. The guests began to gather at the gate. They could feel something shifting. Daniel shook his head. "This is impossible. I handle my business alone." "You handle operations," Mr. Adeyemi said. "But risk exposure decisions pass through Madam Grace." I remembered the night Daniel came home excited about his first expansion plan. He did not know I had approved the loan hours earlier. He hugged me, thanking me for supporting him emotionally. He never knew I supported him financially, too. Daniel's face turned red. "Grace, is this some kind of trick?" he demanded. I spoke calmly. "No trick. I never lied to you. You never asked." Gasps filled the night air. Mr. Adeyemi cleared his throat. "Sir, due to the instability displayed tonight and the public declaration of separation, the bank must reassess partnership reliability." Daniel's eyes widened. "What does that mean?" he asked. "It means," the manager said, "your credit lines are temporarily suspended pending review." Daniel stepped back as if pushed. His company depended on those credit lines. Without them, shipments would stop. Suppliers would hesitate. The same cousins who had laughed at me began whispering. Daniel tried to control the situation. "Grace, tell him this is a misunderstanding." I looked at him carefully. Was it a misunderstanding? He had called me a burden in front of everyone. He had thrown me out. Those were not mistakes. They were choices. Mr. Adeyemi turned to me. Madam, how would you like to proceed? The power in that question felt heavy. I did not want revenge, but I wanted respect. Proceed by policy, I said softly. The manager nodded. Daniel's knees seemed weak. The night that began as a celebration was now a storm. Daniel tried to laugh it off. My wife is emotional, he told the guests. This will be fixed. But doubt had entered their eyes. Business partners stepped away quietly. They knew what frozen credit meant. They knew risk. Mr. Adeyemi handed Daniel a formal notice. Daniel's hands shook as he read. Inside the house, the music had stopped. Plates of food sat untouched. Daniel pulled me aside. Why didn't you tell me? He whispered harshly. I wanted us to build together, I replied. Not compete. He ran his hands through his hair. You made me look small. No, I said gently. You did that yourself. That was when our family lawyer arrived. He had been invited earlier for a different matter, but now his timing felt planned by fate. He opened a document. Daniel, he said carefully, your marriage contract states that financial assets brought into the union remain under the control of the original owner. Daniel stared at him. You signed this, the lawyer added. You said you trusted her. Daniel's pride cracked like glass. He looked at the guests, then at me. Grace, we can fix this privately, he said. I remembered the night we first met. He admired my intelligence then. He respected my opinions. When did that change? When his profits grew. When praise filled his ears. I was planning something, I told him quietly. He looked up. Next month, I intended to transfer a portion of my shares to you, to make us equal partners. Silence swallowed the courtyard. You were? He whispered. Yes. I wanted us to lead together. His face was drained of color. An elder stepped forward. Pride is a dangerous seed, the elder said. It grows fast and blinds the farmer. No one laughed now. Daniel's cousins avoided his eyes. The same people who clapped for him stood quiet. Power had shifted. Daniel fell to his knees. I was angry, he said. I felt insecure. You are always calm. People respect you. I thought if I acted strong, I would feel strong. His honesty surprised me, but words cannot erase public wounds. You threw me out, I said softly. He lowered his head. Mr. Adeyemi waited patiently. Madam, he said, the review can be paused if reconciliation is confirmed. The decision rested with me. I looked at Daniel. Did I want a husband who respected me only after discovering my power? Or did I deserve love without proof of wealth? I will not destroy him, I said firmly. But the bank must act by its rules. The manager nodded. Daniel's accounts would be reviewed fairly. No favoritism. No punishment. Only policy. That was justice. Over the next few days, news spread. Daniel's shipments were delayed. Suppliers demanded guarantees. Investors grew cautious. He felt the pressure he once placed on others. Meanwhile, I stayed at my late father's house, thinking deeply. Power felt different now. Heavier. Daniel came to see me one morning. He looked tired. I have learned, he said quietly. Not about money. About you. I listened. I was afraid, he admitted. Afraid you did not need me. I sighed. Marriage is not about need, I replied. It is about respect. The bank completed its review. Daniel's company was stable but overextended. Adjustments were made. Credit was restored, with stricter conditions. He would survive, but he would not stand so tall again. Humility had entered his business. Daniel asked me to return home. I want us to rebuild, he said. I thought about the courtyard, the laughter, the word burden. Trust is like glass. Once cracked, the mark remains. I will return, I said slowly, if respect returns first. We called another gathering. This time, Daniel stood before everyone again. He cleared his throat. I was wrong, he said loudly. My wife is not a burden. She is my foundation. Gasps filled the air once more. But this time, the silence felt warm. He turned to me. I judged you by what I saw, he said. I forgot what I did not see. I nodded. I forgive you, I said. But remember this night. He promised he would. The guests clapped softly. Not for wealth, for wisdom. Today, when I walk through that courtyard, I remember the headlights, the bow, and the silence that changed everything. I learned that true power does not shout. It waits. Daniel learned that love, without respect, is fragile. And I learned that hiding strength can protect peace, but sometimes strength must be seen. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to my channel, turn on your notification button, and stay tuned for more of my interesting stories. Tell me in the comments. If you were in my place, would you have forgiven him? Remember, never measure someone's worth by what they show you. Some of the strongest pillars stand quietly. Stay tuned for more.